Many people still believe in God. They still pray before sleeping. They still ask for guidance when life gets heavy. They still feel something when they hear worship music. Faith didn't leave their hearts. But the church slowly disappeared from their routine, not because they stopped loving God, not because they stopped believing, but because something happened along the way. Maybe they were hurt by people inside the church. Maybe they felt judged instead of welcomed. Maybe they were disappointed by leaders they trusted. Maybe life became busy, exhausting, overwhelming. Or maybe, without realizing it, they started believing a quiet lie. I can walk with God on my own. Yes, God meets you in your room in your prayers and your tears. Yes, God is not limited to a building. But faith was never meant to be lived in isolation. Christianity was never designed to be a solo journey. From the very beginning, God's plan was not just salvation, but community. Not just forgiveness, but family. Not just belief, but belonging. The enemy knows this very well. That's why isolation is always one of his first strategies. He doesn't always attack your faith directly. Sometimes he just separates you. Because a Christian alone becomes vulnerable, discouraged, confused, and tired. You may still believe, but slowly you stop growing. Slowly you stop being sharpened. Slowly you stop being accountable. And without realizing it, your fire becomes a memory instead of a flame. The Bible is very clear about this. Hebrews 10:25 says, "Not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." It was written for Christians who were under pressure, persecution, fear, and exhaustion. And even then, the instruction was clear. Do not abandon the gathering. Do not walk alone. Do not disconnect from the body, because the church is not just a place you attend. It is a place where you are formed. In church, your faith is challenged. In church, your character is refined. In church, your pride is confronted. In church, your gifts are activated. And yes, in church, you will sometimes be hurt because people are imperfect. But healing does not come from isolation. Healing comes from restoration. Many people say, "The church hurt me," and that pain is real. God sees it. God knows it. But leaving the church because of people is like abandoning a hospital, because you saw sick patients inside. The church is not a museum of perfect saints. It is a hospital for broken people in need of grace. When you distance yourself from the church, you don't punish those who hurt you. You starve yourself. You lose covering. You lose spiritual alignment. You lose encouragement. You lose correction. You lose the strength that comes from worshiping together. There are battles you cannot win alone. There are prayers that are stronger when lifted together. There are seasons where your faith survives because someone else believes for you when you are tired. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 reminds us of this truth. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. No confrontation, no commitment, no accountability. But easier does not mean healthier. Growth requires friction, maturity requires submission, and faith requires community. God never intended for you to carry your cross alone. He created the church so we could help one another carry it. The church teaches us how to love when it's uncomfortable, how to forgive when it's difficult, how to serve when it costs us something, how to stay when everything inside us wants to leave. And this is where many misunderstand the purpose of church. Church is not about consuming a service. It is not about liking the music or agreeing with every message. It is about being planted. Psalm 92:13 says, "Those who are planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God." Not visiting, not appearing occasionally. Planted. A planted tree grows roots. Roots create stability. Roots allow growth even in dry seasons. If you only attend when it's convenient, your roots remain shallow. And shallow roots cannot sustain deep faith. Being planted means commitment. It means consistency. It means showing up even when you don't feel like it. Even when worship feels dry. Even when the message confronts you. Even when people disappoint you. Because flourishing is not a feeling, it is the result of remaining. Some people say, "I watch church online," and online services are a blessing, but they are not a replacement for presence. You cannot replace fellowship with a screen. You cannot replace accountability with comments. You cannot replace spiritual covering with convenience. There is something powerful about gathering, about worshiping together, about praying together, about hearing the word together, about serving side by side. When the early church was born, believers met constantly. They shared meals, they shared burdens, they shared life, and that is what strengthened them to endure persecution, suffering, and loss. Faith grows best in community. Calling is revealed in community. Healing often begins in community. If you have been away from church, God is not angry with you, but He is calling you back, not to a building, but to belonging, not to religion, but to relationship, with Him and with His people. You don't have to be perfect to return. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just need to take the first step. Go back, reconnect, be planted, serve, allow yourself to be known. Because the Christian life was never meant to be lived alone. And if this message spoke to your heart, if it helped you understand the importance of being connected to the body of Christ, consider subscribing to this channel. Your subscription helps this message reach more people who need encouragement, direction, and truth.